Hey guys, so today we're going to be changing this 1-gang outlet to a 3-gang outlet. So we most definitely have the first 2 outlets to use, but we're accompanying that with a GFCI outlet because we're in the bathroom and that's safe.
6 feet of water. Any outlet or power source within 6 feet of water should be GFCI protected, especially in a home or residence. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pre-wire this old work box. Old work boxes have these nifty little wings that pop out on the side and help hold the box into the wall. But that is going to be much later.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take these out so that we can pre-wire them.
At this point in the video, I'm going to show you how to wire up this outlet. We're actually going to pre-wire the outlet to make it easier to fit into this lovely box. As you can see, these boxes have a finite amount of space in them. In order to minimize the amount of space we take up and make our lives easier later on, we're going to pre-wire these 3 outlets together. This is the ground fault circuit interrupting outlet. This is the one that protects the other 2, controls the other 2, and ultimately protects your life in the event of any sort of accidental discharge of electrical current, any fault current. Meaning, if you accidentally get your hair dryer wet, this thing will shut off and shut these other 2 outlets off before you are capable of noticing that you have been hit by an electrical current. It does that by sensing the difference between magnetic fields between the 2 different wires, and we'll discuss that more in just a second. As you can see from the yellow band, there is a definite top and a definite bottom. The top of this is the line side. That is to say, that is your power supply side. These 2 screws. Specifically, that's going to be your hot screw. And that's going to be your, well, a common term for it is neutral, but that's a topic for another video. That's going to be your ground. These 2 screws will control these outlets. So we will begin by pre-wiring. I don't know how well you can see that in the video, but I can see it pretty well. As you can see, it should say line right there above my thumb. All right, excellent. Moving on. First, I like to always wire the ground first. In most homes, your ground wire is going to be the bare metal copper wire that runs through your outlet. This should, in theory, in most homes, actually be a continuous electrical path right back to the ground outside. Yes, because every home in America, as far as I'm aware, is required to have a ground rod. This is an electrode that literally gets driven into the ground. Oh, as you can see, I've used my pliers and I've made a little loop around on this wire. Let me back that up so you can see more clearly. I made a nice little loop here around the wire so that it's and I'm putting it on in a clockwise movement so that as I tighten the screw, the wire itself will tighten around the bottom of the screw, creating a more secure, and you can see it right there starting to curl around with the screw, electrical connection. The white wire, commonly referred to as the neutral, always goes on the same side as the ground screw. Do that one more time. There we go, nice and small. So we're going to start by removing this tape. In the National Electric Code, this white wire is actually referred to as the grounded conductor, whereas the bare copper wire is referred to as the grounding ing conductor. Your grounded conductor, the white wire, is designed to carry the unbalanced load back to the transformer. And no, I don't mean Autobots and Decepticons in disguise. I mean electrical transformer that powers your home. Now, you may be asking yourself why I'm folding this wire like that. Well, I'm trying to have the wire trained, like I said, so that when my beloved bride, Miss Melinda Lee Whalen, first year apprentice, September 2023, goes to install these boxes or these outlets, these devices, they will jump right in place just like a professional that she is going to become and already is. Please, my love, hand me the tape. 3M Scotch 33 tape. This is just a heavy duty vinyl electrical tape. The idea here is we're going to tape up these screws and prevent them from accidentally becoming energized. Mostly out of habit. We're going to actually come back to that later. Going to have to rewipe or redo this one again, but that's fine. So now we're going to start training this wire. Make it where it folds nice and neat. We're going to need our point to come right about there.
Always make sure the power is off.
Yes, I need yes.
Bedroom smoke detectors. There's bathroom. This is one of the most dangerous parts of what we're about to do. This outlet is potentially live. Just a moment ago, I turned off one circuit breaker. That does not necessarily mean that it is the correct circuit breaker. All too often, those things are labeled wrong. So always check, check, and recheck. This is a non-contact circuit voltage tester. Always check to make sure that they are functioning correctly. Mindy, check to make sure that that is on. Normally, I'd stick the non-contact circuit voltage tester there, but because this GFCI isn't working properly, that's not going to help me. I'm going to start by taking off the screws. Whenever working on any sort of circuitry, always treat it as if it is powered. Even when you know for a fact that it is de-energized.
It's good.
This GFCI was incorrectly wired. That's probably why it's working wrong. What the previous electrician did here, they wired the hot on the load side, but they wired the white on the lines, or I'm sorry, they wired the white on the line side, on the load side, and the hot on the line side. It should not have been done in that manner. They did it very wrong. Unfortunately, because they did not correctly wire this particular ground fault circuit interrupter, we are going to have to energize this circuit to tell which one's which. I'm gonna need a hammer and a beating screwdriver. and a pencil and a level. Our goal is to take this box out of the wall and install this guy here. More than likely there's a stud or something to that effect holding this box in. But we're gonna start by pulling this little screw out and see what that does. Because there is in fact no telling how they got that thing in there. And on more than one occasion I have had to beat these boxes out. This is my counter, by the way, so that's the only reason I can get away with sitting on it. Any other owner or any other business person on the planet would fire you for this. Oh, looks like there's a screw right there. There might be a stud behind there, or it could just be open wall. Looks like another one right there. Under normal circumstances, I'd have a flashlight on my forehead, not a camera. Even though the power has been turned back off, I'm leaving those wire nuts on there just to remind me that that's where the home run is. God damn. Oopsie, better. That's not right. There we go. Now we're coming out. All right. That's just always clean up your mess. Put this back on there. Now, I'm always in the habit of trying to put the wire nut back on, just in case something, does become energized when I'm not expecting it. And yes, as an electrician, that does happen. Other human beings will make the mistake of turning something on and without you knowing it, and you're the one who pays the consequence. So that is always a sucky, sucky thing. Now, old workbox. Where are we at? That's the demo. Next step. Now that we've got our box out of the way, our old box, we're going to draw roughly the area that our new box is going to take up. Line this right up with the old hole. It probably won't be perfect, but we're gonna do our best. You got a level, honey?
Yep, it's right there by your hand.
Outstanding. That is a very small level.
I couldn't find my level, so I figured that.
That's fine. It will work just fine. My father-in-law once asked me, how is it I'm able to get the holes so tight over in his house? No. At my father-in-law's house, I've been replacing outlets and so on. In several cases, I changed out regular duplex to quads. And my father-in-law keeps asking me how it is I trim these holes in and get the boxes to look very, very tight. Well, with very little extra gap. This is how I do it. You'll notice that my house is plaster. Most modern houses are sheetrock. Your house will probably be sheetrock. Looks like much of my bathroom is sheetrock. If it were plaster and lave, it'd be a lot easier to cut through, or a lot more difficult to cut through. But this is the original lave. You can see where it's been removed, the plaster's been removed. To create this wall in this area. I find it's beneficial to go ahead and open these tabs up. We're gonna make sure this is still a good fit. It's not bad, it's a little tight on this side. We're gonna open that up some. You get that plaster?
Yeah, I can grab it.
We'll grab the plaster and the putty knife. Fortunately, we don't need to use the hammer today. A lot of times we end up taking these things out, these old boxes out, with a hammer and a good beater screwdriver. Gotta try to be gentle with sheetrock, but sometimes that's what you gotta do because sometimes these things are nailed in place. Spackling for my repairs and my putty knife. This particular type of spackling goes in pink and dries white. That's how you know it's done. Put this thing back in here. Now, as I start to tighten these screws down, these little arms are gonna float up and it's gonna hold this box from the back side. Now that we're done cutting it out and everything looks like it's gonna fit in real nice and pretty, we're gonna go ahead, make sure alright, we are off. Still off. Always got to double check, especially when you know you're dealing with a home run. Home run is considered the feed that runs back to the electrical panel
for those of you who may have accidentally thought I was making a baseball reference. Because this ground is so small, it's going to make it a little bit difficult. Before I do too much more, I'm going to go ahead and try to get the other side in real fast. Again, I am the homeowner, so I can get away with sitting on the counter. You probably will not be able to do that unless you're the homeowner as well. That'd be great.
Already up here.
I have your strippers, and I have a pair. Now, I'm gonna turn these suckers. Oopsie, I have a little issue. Oh, might be a hair big in some spots. So what I'm doing now is I'm tightening these little screws. They're throwing those little arms out. Those little arms are gonna come down and pull against all the right things and tighten everything up for me. And then everything's gonna be just perfect. Because you see, I have 4 people who live in this house. That's 4. Toothbrushes that need to be charged. That's 4 electric razors. That's 4 irritated people when nothing works. Well, I am an electrician, and this is sort of right up my alley. My beloved bride there is becoming an electrician, so this is definitely right up her alley. Next thing we're gonna do, make up these grounds. I could really use a set of clients.
Okay.
Normally I would never make my joints that small. So you make a joint by rolling 2 wires, 2 or more wires, solid wires, in a clockwise rotation. Normally I use a set of clients for this. I forgot to bring home my tools from work. Now, well, that's an issue.
we are going to have to rewire that ground. Now that we've done rewired, notice I now have a tail on that copper ground. Because now we are going to rewire that copper ground. Trim it up a little bit. Wrap it around real nice and neat. Trim everything. Get that out of there. Put a wire nut on it. Get tight. Bury it. Now. We're putting these in the load side. I'm putting them both in the load side because, like I stated earlier, one of them goes to a downstairs GFCI. And anything on the load side will not be connected to the downstairs GFCI. Thank God I'm safe now. I have safety glasses. Yes. Always wear safety glasses. It's in every tool manual ever. Hey, this is going on YouTube. You can't cuss like that. What are you looking for? Don't worry about it. I'm already past that point. Now, we tape. Dun dun dun. Always tape up your outlets like this because you want to make sure that nothing hits those screws because that is where everything is live at. I say tape them up, but I actually make rubber bands that are designed to go around these that do an amazing job.
I was thinking how you wire it up, that way you only have one set of wires.
Well, try not to argue with inanimate objects. Why?
I guarantee they don't care and you will lose.
However,
If you find yourself arguing with an inanimate object, it is because you have failed to learn a way or detect a way to use it as your friend. Tamper-proof. There we go.
and that's how you get everybody to brush their teeth. Oh wait. And now I can plug in my shaver too. That leaves just enough room for a hairdryer. Thanks, and have a great day.